Howdy guys, Isaac here again. I made another knife sheath. So there it is. Made out of some more of that scrap leather that I used to make the one for the sword knife. This one instead is for a Mora 711 carpenter's knife. And since the leather wasn't really all that pretty, I went ahead and did some artwork. This is some ink here, some archival grade ink that I did this in, and I went with the same motif, the 3 stalks of wheat under the sun. And I just feel like kind of takes an ugly piece of leather and makes it a little bit better looking. So as you can see, just like with the other knife, I took some artificial sinew, did a little bit of X stitching right there, put a welt in it to keep the stitching protected. And what you have here is basically just a blade cover with a retention strap on it. These Mora knives, they're a Scandinavian knife, so a lot of the time they have a sheath that covers the entire knife to about here. That's Scandinavian style. And that's a really good sheath, but I wanted something that was going to be more useful for scout carry as opposed to neck carry. And so you can see the back of the knife here. I made kind of a scout carry strap, and it's an angled scout carry. So if I took the knife and sewed this strap on right up and down like that, you'd have it perfectly flush scout carry. But I kind of angled it so when you carry it, it carries about like that. Whether you put it on your side or across the front of you, it'll be a little bit look kind of like that when you wear it, as opposed to a traditional scout carry where it's like that. So I'll go ahead and take the knife out, and you got your Mora 711 carpenter's knife. See if it'll zoom in on that there. Just using the computer camera here, so it's not the greatest. And European C100 steel is what they're using on these Mora knives these days, which is basically a European variant of 1095 carbon steel. I think that they went with the European C100 because it was a little bit cheaper to get for a Swedish company. I believe if you have an old Frost clipper or some of their older knives from the 90s or 80s, you might actually see stamped in next to that carbon steel, you might actually see a 1095 stamped in right about here. I think I bought one from my brother that had 1095 if I remember correctly. So not really going to do a review on the knife so much. There's actually a pretty good review out there by a guy called Simon's Discoveries. He actually went ahead and told me to post a video when I had the sheath done. So there is the sheath without the knife. You'll kind of see, and actually the way I sewed it up, it actually kind of created a drainage hole inadvertently right there, so that was kind of a happy accident. And to stiffen the leather and protect it, I just threw in some artist grade walnut oil, because as you can see, I'm a painter and I got that stuff lying around the house. Is it the best stuff to put on leather? I don't know, probably not, but this was really just improvised with junk I had laying around the house. So it was kind of an exercise in improvising a sheath. So knife goes in there like that. And it was wet molded before I added that oil. So you just put your retention strap over there. And the idea is, if you're walking or running or whatever, as the knife tries to back out of the sheath while you're scout carrying it, it's just going to go into that. I kind of sewed a little cup on the back of it, so that little plastic pommel bit will just kind of go press up against that, and your knife's not going anywhere. So pretty safe and secure in there. Like I said, kind of ugly. That's why I decorated it. Went ahead and with just like on the other one on the back of it, I put Isaiah 41:10, "Fear not, for I am with you." You know, when if you're a praying man and you believe in a survival situation, That's a pretty good survival scripture right there. So, there it is. Hope you enjoyed. I'll try and keep them coming. Thanks a lot.